before we set up this 2-bed that you had, we landed a £7,000 booking.
Yeah.
Right? So let me ask you a question. How did that feel to you?
That was unreal. In my whole, about a year and a half before I started working with you, I've never had a booking like that.
So one of the biggest win was that 101 nights booking, but what happened to the same client?
The direct booking, another booking straight off the back of that booking.
So you had the same client booked you for another property as a direct booking, and how much was that worth?
£15,000.
Wow.
£1,100.
Guys, welcome back to another Grow Your BNB video. So look, today's video I want to talk about how my client Jen had never had his Airbnb work for him. Now he had 2 properties live in those, and most of his bookings were either small bookings and it was coming through booking.com. Now, if I show you his Airbnb account, you'll be very surprised. Less than 10% of his booking was through Airbnb, and his Airbnb never worked for him. So in this client interview, I want to show you, and also Jen, he's going to show you some gem on how we've achieved some incredible, like one of the things we did is we launched a new property in Dundee, Scotland with him. And guess what? We firstly secured a £7,000 booking without his property being even ready. So look, it's a very interesting client interview. Let me roll the interview and we'll catch up soon.
Guys, welcome back to another client interview. I've got a very special guest for you guys again. Jen, first of all, welcome to this client case study. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for firstly taking out time and doing this for people watching. I think they always love this kind of interview for clients who've worked with me and taken through a journey of growing your brand. So look, people watching here, they always ask this. They would love to know who you are. Obviously, how long have you been in the industry and your experience in the industry? Because everyone trying to connect to somebody in our call. So go for it.
Well, I'm Zen Rasheed. I started in the industry when just before COVID hit, February 2020. That's when I first set up.
Yeah.
March, COVID hit, and then it was scattered bookings. Since for COVID, but I got through COVID. Yeah. As soon as COVID finished, took on another property in Edinburgh, Royal Mile. Yeah. That was going well as well, but then I came across Piers advertisement. Piers. Grow your business. So I seen they'd help somebody else out, and they were getting a lot of bookings. So I thought Piers is the guy. Let's make the jump and.
And work together. And you know what? So firstly, thank you. Like, I think a lot of time people see me in front of people, but a lot of time all I'm talking about is my clients and their results. Like, you're my client now. You've got a result, right? About 5-6 weeks ago, you were in a completely different state, and today is something that
is nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. The type of business you were doing was a lot different to what you do today. It's also fair to say I think the part of your mindset has changed as well around the industry, the way the industry is going to work, and the future of the industry as well. So look, firstly, what I'd like to ask you is, now you've gone through Grow Your BNB and the brand builder, what does this mean to you now?
It means I could scale faster, more efficiently, and be more in control of where I'm going. Because it was just a few bookings here, a few bookings there, and it was all over the place. But now since I've started working with you, like I said, I've taken on another 2-bedroom in Dundee, which is close to a hospital. That's that £7,000 booking that I got. And then now I'm speaking to more people to take on more properties. I've got a deal going on for a 3-bed bungalow, fully renovated.
Yeah, so, and you're scaling really quickly. Do you feel that you're a lot more confident around the market, the types of bookings you're attracting?
I'm more confident I could achieve bookings, yeah,
good. Okay.
I look less into the area, because technically if a guest is going to come from London, they don't know much about the area. So as long as I feel safe in the area, I'm happy to take that property on.
Yeah, and you're creating a property based on your guest and what they would like to do and your decisions. Yeah, no, great. Look, we'll talk about some wins in a minute. Now, you've already mentioned that obviously before we set up this 2-bed that you had, we landed a £7,000 booking.
Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you a question. How did that feel to you?
That was unreal. In my whole, what was it, year, about a year and a half before I started working with you, I've never had a booking like that. I've heard of my friends making this amount of money and having long-term bookings, monthly bookings, but I was never able to achieve that for some reason. I don't know what the problem was, but now we've resolved that issue with marketing and branding. It's
you know where it's going. So
I know where it's going, and now my friends are looking at me like, "What's Zen doing?"
Yes, 100%. No, that's true. And so one of the biggest win was that 101 nights booking. But what happened to the same client?
The direct booking, another booking straight off the back of that booking.
So you had the same client booked you for another property as a direct booking, and how much was that worth?
£15,000.
Wow.
£15,100.
So really, what you've done within this, working with us in this short space of time, we wanted to make sure that you achieved great results. But I think you've had one of the best success in one of my client stories so far, and it's going back into, don't get me wrong, and I will put this in there, that you've got great products. You had great properties. You had great location. The only thing you did wrong was you just didn't know how to target those longer term bookings.
That's
right. Correct. And that, as a result, has today allowed you to invest and grow more of your business. So look, now let's talk about 4 weeks back, right? Where were you in terms of like your booking conversion? So let's talk about, where did you get most of your leads?
Most of my leads came from booking.com. Airbnb, there was literally one booking every 3 months or something.
Wow.
And it was maybe a few nights bookings as well. It wasn't worth much. But now there's the Airbnb listings have boosted quite a lot of income, and the branding and marketing as well. So it's
okay.
Well, early days, but we'll get there. And these few bookings have helped quite a bit for me to invest back into the business and grow the portfolio even further.
And so if you're saying booking.com was your main business, we're talking what, 90% booking.com, 10% Airbnb, and none direct?
None direct, 10% even, I would say, is too much for Airbnb. I would put that down to 5%.
Wow. So let's, do you know what? So that was purely because we're now talking numbers. Now let's talk about because a lot of people watch this video, they sometimes come in and go, oh, well, Jen's got all this amazing results. But let's talk about the process a little bit, just because when you first spoke to me, what was your brand like?
There was no brand. It was Properties, Sunrise Properties Scotland. That's what it was.
It was a completely different way of branding. You thought that company name was going to allow you to scale up, right?
Yeah.
And what did we do? So when we first onboarded, and I think people watching this video would love to know that, when we onboard you, what did we do? First thing?
Memory is quite not the best, but I'm pretty sure we changed the brand name.
We did the brand name change to based on targeting clientele for our business. Also, we did an audit on your brand, right? That 30-minute audit where we sat down and really looked at where you were today, and what I said to you was where we're going to take you in this next 5 weeks. So what has now been the best thing for you? And within this process, I always ask my customer, you've made great return, great bookings, but what's been the best journey for you in this last 5 weeks?
I think it's I would say it's the branding. The branding has made a big difference to my vision and my where I want to take the business as well. Before I was under properties, I was doing sourcing, I was doing renovations, I was doing all sorts of jobs under this properties brand. But now I've got it down to specifically short-term lets and service accommodation is what that business does. And then the properties on the side, I could do all the other things that I was planning to do as extra income. So I think it's giving me more vision, and it's giving me more. It's exciting. It's exciting. making money is exciting.
100%. And look, I think where people are watching, by the way, I've got people watching from UK, abroad as well. And one thing I always say to my clients, and even yourself, was I always said to you, look, when the brand works, then it works. That's all it is. I said to you this, right? Because you have no branding, you don't have the presence, and you're not out beating your competitions.
Yeah,
that's where you're finding challenging, because what you were doing was you're taking bookings as it came.
Yeah,
you never had a strategy.
Yeah,
right. And that's where the whole difference come in. Like today, just before our, prior to this call, I showed you how you can optimize a listing based on Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
And why it's going to help you to the next week calendar rather than a month later, right? Yeah. So it's going back into your knowledge as well. I think I've seen you using terms that you never did before. Purely the fact that you now know how things work.
Yeah.
And I think eventually this is where, for me and you as a client as well, is I think we've seen the growth, but now your expectation to the growth is a lot higher too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that true?
That is true. Yeah. So I was everything, like more properties I won't be taking on. I'm just going to be coming back to you to sort them out, because
yeah. And don't get me wrong, we do that every set. Like you probably know Kabir, young Kabir. We've just launched a property with him about 5 days ago, and he's just had an 11-month inquiry. I hope he converts it. But if people again haven't watched Kabir's video, I've done an interview with him as well.
No, okay.
So that is where, look, I would love you to answer this question as genuine as it gets, because people watching this video wants to know this. How is it working with myself?
Great. The thing is with you is that I only knew of you through Kabir, and even Kabir, I don't know him at all. I've just seen his posts.
Yeah.
So for me, I was hesitant to give somebody control of my business and branding and not know what the outcome would be, because in the past there has been issues that I've not been given the results that I've paid for.
Yeah.
But with you, I took a leap of faith. You seem a straightforward guy, and you've given me results. And I've recommended you to a few of my friends as well.
Yeah.
Even going forward, like I said, my growth plans. I've got another one property on lined up. I've got another, actually 3, potentially 6, which 3 I might manage for someone else, and 3 I'll manage myself. So all of them, I'll be just bringing them back to you. You set it all up for me, give it back to me, and I'll make money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
you're definitely worth the money. Definitely worth
I appreciate it, bro. And I think that's where I do want to make a point here is you've got enough time to invest on the business right now, and because of the scale you're going, you also want to be a bit hands-free, and that's where you're saying that you want to come back to us, because while you're setting up your property, we've done that before, right? Yeah. Your $7,000 profit booking, you were setting up the property while I did the work, and we were sat down doing the listings for you.
Yeah.
That took a lot away from you, because a lot of time operators are sitting down and going, oh, I haven't even marketed my property, right? Whereas while you were doing that, we did your work.
Yeah.
So I think I was really excited for that. Look, now, last question to end this interview is, why is our industry relying on OTA so much and not on their own brand?
Inexperience.
Yeah.
Inexperience is the reason people are relying on OTAs, and they don't know you. They don't know that you could help them grow, get direct bookings, and achieve that extra 15-18% that the OTAs are going to charge. So there's a lot of inexperience, I think, and there's a lot of hats to wear.
Yeah.
So there's too many hats to wear. So what the best route about it for me is that I pay you, you do that for me, you take the hat off my head.
Yeah.
And I've got nothing to worry about in terms of the results that you're going to give me, because you've proven yourself.
Yeah, 100%. No, thank you so much. And I think that's a great point. Inexperience basically means for people that, you're trying to do everything yourselves. And at the end of the day, with any business, if you keep doing that, your scaling part of the business would not be possible. Let's be honest, let's take 5 weeks ago, you were sat down here going, Piers, I need good bookings. That's what you were thinking. You never sat down with me there going, Piers, I'm looking to scale my business at that point, right? So a whole different conversation we're having 5 weeks later. So look, Jen, thank you so much firstly to do this interview with myself. I'm sure people will love this. I'm sure people will appreciate it, and at some point I think people will connect to you, because a lot of people who work with me before, they love to connect with people that I've already worked with. So but yeah, thank you so much for taking time doing this client interview, and yeah, we'll look forward to working with you again.
No problem.
Thank you.
Well, look, I've done so many client interviews, and if this is the first time ever, if you're watching one of my video, I have interviewed probably more than 15-20 of my clients in this channel. I would love you to go watch all of them, because look, everyone comes in through a different journey. Some have empty calendar, some have bad calendars, or some like Jen, who's got no brand. He had Airbnb, which again, you know, if you're in a short-term rental business, you need to understand that Airbnb does bring you a lot of serious business. And to be fair, he just didn't know how to do that. And look, in Grow Your BnB, this is all we do. Well, A, we understand where you are today. B, we look at the least performing platforms for you. So if you're performing well on Airbnb, we'll look at some direct booking opportunities, but this is what we do in Grow Your BnB. And what we'd love to do is, look, if you're new to this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe, like, and thank you so much for watching this Grow Your BnB video. I'll be back with another video soon.